Hello, my name is Leslie Linchak, and today I'm going to be presenting my informative expository speech. My informative expository presentation is on Burning Man. My purpose is to inform my audience about the history, the 10 principles, and how Burning Man impacts its community. Quote, "There are no rules on how one must behave or express oneself at this event. Rather, it's up to each participant to decide on how they will contribute and what they will give to this community." End quote, a festival attendee. This community is much more than a belonging. It is something about doing something together that makes the belonging matter, that is much more important. Once a year, tens of thousands of people gather in Nevada's Black Rock Desert to create Black Rock City, a temporary metropolis dedicated to community, art, self-expression, and self-reliance. In 2012, The Tycoon, which is a quarterly interfaith Jewish left progressive magazine and website, reported that since its earliest days, Burning Man has been a collaborative endeavor, not only bringing people together and their interests, but their artwork, and for once a week be able to let go. Today we will first look at the history of Burning Man. Next we will learn about the 10 principles, and lastly we will understand how Burning Man impacts its community. Main point, the history of Burning Man. Burning Man began in 1986 as a spontaneous solemn solstice gathering among friends led by Larry Harvey, James Jerry, and Baker Beach in San Francisco. In 1990s, the event moved to Black Rock Desert in northern Nevada. The Daily Beast New York in 2017 said that in 1996, a year of Burning Man moved to Nevada and the event totaled only 350 participants. In 1996, there were 8,000, and as of 2017, the festival has expanded to a modest of 70,000 people. Art in this setting takes place on a vibrant, surreal glow that multiplied by 30,000 participants. The 10 principles. In 2004, one of the founders, Larry Harvey, wrote the 10 principles as guidelines. The guidelines are radical inclusion, gifting, demogratification, radical self-reliance, radical self-expression, communal effort, civic responsibility, leave no trace, and participation involvement. Now, according to California Geographer in 2014, rooted that the values expressed by the 10 principles, a unique and distinctive culture emerges from Burning Man experience. Now I'm going to explain how Burning Man impacts its community. One of the main things that Burning Man encourages is not closing the circle. Geographical Review in 2014 said that community is strengthened largely through an interaction and cooperation and residents that share an equal curiosity about one another. The basic law of the land is leave no trace. Everything packed in must be packed out. The land must be clean and relatively undisturbed when we all leave, when they all leave. The Burning Man staff paid from ticket sales, covered the gaps in awareness, and prepared the departing crowd with passionate devotion. That is why the event is allowed to go on by the Bureau of Land Management, the current owners of the land. Leaving no trace is arguably Burning Man's most important principle. Some rules and regulations are very minimal and involved along with the increasing size of the gathering. There is ongoing challenging debate on the subject. Larry Harvey explains that the city grew in residents necessarily had to go from a hunter-gatherer model to one of civic society. This department is resisted by some, but one entering Burning Man for the first time, the civic society is one of the freest, coolest, and most cheerful societies ever encountered. Today, we learned about the history of Burning Man. Second, we learned about the 10 principles of Burning Man. And finally, we learned about how Burning Man impacts the community. In conclusion, When we share something with people around us, such as our community, it can make such an impact and help us make connections and changes around us, and that's without even knowing it. Thank you.